Hello, hello, everybody. Happy Friday to you. We are back here for another a super exciting episode of the Breakthrough Show. I'm your host, Jessica Dugas, and today we have an incredibly inspiring guest joining us. She's known as the spreader of the happy and the happy helper, and is here to share her remarkable journey with us today. Our guest has dedicated her life to helping others find joy and happiness, even in the most challenging of circumstances. Sounds pretty familiar, right? Something we talk about a lot on Project Joy in the mornings. She is the brilliant mind behind S.H.A.P.E, also known as spreading happiness across planet Earth, and has a knack for helping people discover the happy in the crappy. I think we could all use a little help in that area from time to time. Whether she's supporting individuals or assisting entrepreneurs in bringing happiness to their businesses, her infectious positivity and encouragement make a profound impact. So I want you to get ready today to be uplifted and motivated as we dive into our guest story. And I will also say this, I would be shocked if you didn't leave here just a little bit happier today. And without further ado, let's welcome Amanda Lindsey to the show. Hello, Amanda. So excited to have you here today.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here too.
Love it. Love it. Listen, I was in the same outfit I had on for Project Joy this morning, and I saw Amanda Sparkles, and I'm like, I need to be Sparkles too. So I literally changed as the intro was playing. Love it though. I feel like you and we share a similar message, because I think happiness and joy and breakthroughs and love and peace they're all tied together, in so many ways. But I would love for you to start out by sharing with everyone where you're joining us from today, and maybe what that word breakthrough means to you in your life.
All right. I'm coming from Louisiana, southern part of the United States. A little bit hot today, but nice, nice nonetheless.
Yeah.
And breakthrough. Wow. For me, it's that moment in time when like everything just makes sense, and it's like a whole body, mind, spirit thing all put together. It's just like poof, this moment of clarity, And I guess the sound effect I have for it, because I do have a sound effect if you want to hear that one.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know, like in the movies or whatever, when y'all hear
Yeah.
that to me is a breakthrough. That's what comes.
Yes. I agree. I think I hear that in my brain when that, like, I literally, the heavens open up and the angels sing when we have these breakthrough moments. It's amazing. I love that. I'm also a person too that I hear a lot in my mind when certain things have. So you totally spoke to me there, 100%. I'm assuming that what I have found for myself is that the things that I talk about in my work are things that have been my own breakthroughs as well. So I'm going to assume that happiness has been a source of breakthrough for you.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Yeah. I love that. I love it. Well, I'm very excited today because we're going to dive into several things. Project S.H.A.P.E, which the title of the episode is Spreading Happiness Across Planet Earth, but it's also Amanda's platform, also known as S.H.A.P.E. Let me ask you first, are you a person that enjoys acronyms in that kind of way? Like, is it make it easier for you to remember? Like, why just not call it Project Happiness?
A lot of the times things do kind of hit better to me when I've got acronyms, alliteration. I'm a writer, so a lot of the times, rhymes, alliteration, words, like, it definitely hits to me and speaks to me. So that's one of the reasons. And I kind of, well, when I first when I first kind of came up with it, I was kind of comparing it in a loose analogy to getting into shape, like physical shape.
Yeah.
And so there's some similarities there that I have talked about and written about. So it kind of went together in that respect too.
Yeah, I love that. That's great too. And that reminds me of my friend Sharon that comes on. And it's so amazing that all, like I said, joy, happiness, gratitude, all of those things kind of tie together so beautifully. Sharon was in this realm of working in fitness, and she's also a massage therapist. And so when she started doing her gratitude work, she called it graticize because it reminded her of the working out. Yeah. So I love that we're all able to kind of tie things together in that way. It's really beautiful. I am so excited. I don't want to put off any more time because I want to get into your story and why happiness is so important to you. And of course, learn more about S.H.A.P.E. So we're going to take a super quick break and we're going to come right back and dive into Amanda's story. Don't go anywhere.
Breakthroughs are about more than you might think. They're about discovering who you are, digging deep, reaching to the core of your soul. They're about healing yourself, understanding your beliefs, creating a ripple effect. And it's not just those initial moments that matter. It's about using them to bring more joy into our own lives and the lives of others. It's about having fun, letting loose, enjoying every moment life has to offer. It's about finding a safe space. It's about creating connection. Join us each and every day for exclusive programming, special events, and a community to call home. Where we invite you to explore, change the way you look at and live your life, and go beyond the breakthrough. So we ask you, are you ready? We'll see you online at thebreakthroughshow.com.
Welcome back to the Breakthrough Show. I'm your host, Jessica Dugas. Today is Friday, July 12th, 2024, and we're here with our fabulous guest, Amanda Lindsey, today. I'm so excited to be diving into this topic of happiness because it's just, you can't even, to me, I can't even say the word happy without feeling a little happy. So I love that we're diving into this today. Talk to us starting out here about your journey to happiness. Like, did you have to find that place, or were you just out of the womb, just happy all the time?
I would say I popped out that way, yes. And then, as time has gone on and had gone on, I had lost it. There was a dark time, and just needed to find it again. And
Yes.
and I guess that happens a lot. With many people, they can go on and have, they can have the best childhood ever, and then something happens, and
Right.
you just kind of you lose it. And so I guess what I would say is one of my big breakthroughs was finding it again. And you know how a lot of people will say they have a spiritual awakening. I had a happiness awakening is how I'll put it. And so that's pretty much how that started. Spurt of the happy and the happy helper. Yes, that's how I know myself now. But wasn't always that way. So I've suffered a lot with chronic illness, starting from the 1997, the age of 15, and so it had its ups and downs. And then in 2009, it just started tanking. Everything just kind of started tanking. My my chronic illness just kind of, went into overdrive.
Mm.
And then, with that, a lot of other life things kind of went into the mix. I lost my job. My marriage kind of started tanking. Got ghosted from friends, isolated, that sort of thing. Because at that point, there was no real Zoom or anybody really talking online or anything like that.
Yeah.
So you were either out and about partying with your friends, or you just didn't have any, kind of.
Right. Yeah.
And so it was a really tough time, really dark, really. And what ended up happening with my health issues is I eventually had lost the ability to walk independently. And so that was pretty crucial, because walking, oh my goodness, walking was like one of my happy things.
Wow.
My joys. I loved walking around all over, being out in nature, all that sort of stuff. So, when your life starts crumbling like that, it's really hard to be happy. And
Right.
it's pretty damn near impossible sometimes.
Yeah. No, I agree. The whole thing you're sharing, I think you're talking about my life because it sounds so similar. And I know you and I talked about that when we talked initially, like how much we really have in common, but I don't even think we really realize how much and like as far as things going through in life. And I've shared with people dealing with chronic illness myself, like it's something that you can do the work, okay, and you can be like, the textbook definition of personal and spiritual development, but when you experience something on the physical plane, like your body hurts so bad that now you cannot walk, you cannot talk the way you once did, you cannot, whatever it is taking away from you, you could have done all the work in the world and still have in that moment have to decide who you want to be.
Yeah. And it took quite some time for me to decide who I wanted to be. And,
Right.
Eventually I owe it to an amazing neighbor, believe it or not. Cause, he had noticed, he lived right across the street from me, and
Yeah.
he had noticed just the insane things that I was putting my mom through to get me back and forth from like my house to the car, because I had no assistive devices or anything at that point in time, and I literally was making my mom carry me on her back to
Oh my gosh.
back and forth from the car.
Yeah.
And so he had what he called the Cadillac of wheelchairs, and he had bought it for his wife, who was suffering from cancer, and she had passed before ever getting to use it. And so, he would frequent my house, and we'd have conversations and hang out and things. Well, one day he came by, and he brought over the wheelchair, and brought it into the house, and I smiled politely and thanked him, even though deep down I was like, probably giving him the middle finger in my head.
Yeah.
And but so we put the wheelchair in my kitchen, and it just sat there. My mom, she was awesome. I don't know how she put up with me. I really don't. But she didn't push. She didn't do anything. She just left it there. And I was spending, since I couldn't walk, so I'm, or move hardly. So I'm spending my days on the couch, right? And so the couch is like facing the kitchen, and the wheelchair is just like sitting there, and it's like staring at me, right? And as time goes on, I'm getting more annoyed with the fact that it's sitting there, because I can see it kind of, it's laughing at me, if you will, what I'm saying? Because it's it's this possibility, it's the symbol of hope to make my life better, right? And I'm just ignoring it. And so the longer time went on, I kind of just got so annoyed, not only with the wheelchair just sitting there, but with myself and said, I just need to get out my own damn way. And I tried it for, I don't even remember when or where, whatever, but I was just like, oh yeah, I had to go to the bathroom one day, and I was just like, Mom, I'm like, why don't you bring over the wheelchair? And she just kind of was just like surprised, and I mean, joyfully surprised, I'm sure. So, she brings over the wheelchair, and I sit in it, and it was the complete opposite of what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to take away my independence. I thought it was going to, hinder my life. And I'm sitting here like, I don't know how I can hinder my life any more than I already have.
Right.
But when, sitting in that chair, it was super comfortable. Cadillac of wheelchairs, no doubt. But it gave me more independence. I could move around the house myself, and God, I know I was helping her out because I wasn't, potentially throwing out her back and killing me,
Yeah.
So it and it kind of sparked a whole journey for me, because when sitting this wheelchair then just kind of turned from an annoying thing to like the most amazing thing in the world. So I had this overwhelming sense of gratitude, and from there I just kind of started to think and get real honest about where my situation was, where I was, and where I wanted to be, and where I wanted to go. And I took an inward journey, and that is what I call the finding the happy in the crappy, is taking that inward journey. And when I looked at my life and I looked at a whole bunch of things, I was able to accept where I was and not be so bitter and resentful for my circumstances and where things were, and how grateful I was for the things I did have. And then it just naturally opened up feeling again, if you will, because I had gotten numb. And I started to feel all things, all the gamut of emotions, and which was really helpful too, because I had for the longest time not allowed myself to accept my feelings and to accept things. And so a bunch of just this, again, that breakthrough moment where things just seemed to make sense. And I realized, happiness is me. Happiness is not my circumstances. And so I can bring it wherever I go because it's within me. And so that's my first happiness breakthrough, if you will.
And it's so interesting because it being within you is the same message that we share on Project Joy, which we could sit here and probably have a whole episode on the similarities and differences between joy and happiness. But I mean, it's all similar, in this. We're all in the same pond, so it doesn't matter. But one of the things that really struck me about what you just shared is that when you were looking at the wheelchair when it was just sitting there, and you said that this was going to be a symbol of hope for you, like of being able to improve your life. And it really struck me that this could be such a big part of people's breakthroughs, is asking yourself, what do you want this to be a symbol of? Because you could have easily looked at that wheelchair and said, this is a step back. This is horrible. This is like not the direction. I don't want a wheelchair, whatever, it is. But I think if we could look at these strongholds that we have, these attachments that we have, these, preconceived notions that we have about things, and then saying like, okay, what do we want this to be a symbol of? I think that's so powerful what you did there.
Yeah. And, it takes, it wasn't a quick reframe, that's for sure. And sometimes, that is difficult because we're accustomed to having attachments and symbols to be a certain way. And so,
Yeah.
when you can make that shift, it does make a difference. It really does.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So you started doing the work and everything else. At what point did you allow this happiness journey that you had been taken to be something that you wanted to share with other people?
And that's the beauty of breakthrough number 2.
We love multiple breakthroughs here.
Indeed. And what I find really awesome about breakthrough number 2 is that it came about at a crappy time for the majority of the world. And so it was during the pandemic, honestly, is when I realized some things. First of all, I realized the similarities between the things that I was experiencing, the isolation, the fear of the unknown, the uncertainty of my life, the inability to leave my house. Now, granted, for different reasons, but still the inability to leave your house.
Right.
Your independence being taken away, isolation, all of those sorts of things. And I was like, it's like, wow, all these things I've been experiencing for years now. And now all at once, the whole world, billions of people were experiencing it at the same time. And it was a very bittersweet kind of situation, because I was like, for once in a really long time, I felt connected to the world again. You know what I mean? But then I looked at it and I was like, I don't like the way that this connection is. I don't want to be connected to the world this way. And so that's when S.H.A.P.E pretty much came about, because I'm like, what I really think the world needs, just as what I needed, was hugs and smiles. Believe it or not, the two real simple things. And at that point in time, with the social distancing and stuff, we weren't able to give hugs, and with the masks and things, we weren't able to really see smiles and stuff. And so I was like, I'm gonna make that my mission to do that, to spread the hugs and smiles and all over the world, and have everybody join me.
But I love it. I love that. Having always been such a big fan of the Care Bears, we gotta have the Care Bear stare and spreading the love everywhere. I love that. But I wanna ask you about kind of a little bit of a hot button topic, which is, we hear often in the personal development and spiritual development world about toxic positivity and spiritual bypassing. These are some of the phrases that we hear, and for me, it creates a not enoughness around a feeling of inadequacy around the power of a smile and happiness and a hug and joy and things like that. And so I don't like those things. But how do you feel about those statements or phrases? And have you ever had that response at all to what you're trying to do?
Okay. Yeah, that's a loaded question.
Yeah.
Lots of topics in one. So yeah, whole show on that one. But but yeah, I have heard them, and a lot of the times thrown at me when first meeting me, because a lot of the time, I mean, you don't see it right now, but I have a background with smiley faces when I'm on Zoom. And so when you see me, that's what you see. So I'm in sparkles. You see a big old smiles everywhere. And people probably look at me very one-dimensional and say, you're just whoosh going past all sorts of things that are in the world. And that's not the case, because I personally feel that happiness can coexist with all emotions, and that it can coexist in all places. And yeah, there's some real crappy things going on in the world. There were things really crappy going on in my life, and there always will be. I mean, that's how the world works. I mean, things just aren't rainbows and unicorns 24/7. But
Yeah.
it's all what you focus on. And yeah, acknowledging what's going on is important, because I mean, you can't just, exist in this bubble. I mean, you can't.
Can't we? Can't we just? I'm here for a good bubble, really.
No, I completely understand. I
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
they're not. I have a. You know how you can name your phone? I don't know if you have a nickname for your phone. Mine's actually called the Happy Bubble.
Nice. Brittany, my friend Brittany's out in the audience today, by the way. And listen, we need to do this. We need to name everything the Happy Bubble from here on out. That's gonna be it.
But I mean, even in your happy bubble, things are what you focus on, and you create your reality. And so, yeah, I am completely in favor of feeling all the emotions, because me, I suppressed them for so long, and that just did me no good, and it doesn't do anybody good. So you really do need to feel them, and you need to process them, but you can choose to focus on the positive,
Right.
despite whatever else is going on. And
Yeah.
it really is a choice. And sometimes it's a really hard choice. And for me, it's a daily choice. It's not something like, oh, I'm happy and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I honestly, believe it or not, when I wake up and I do my wake up stretches, I'll sit, and when I'm done, I sit there quietly and I say, today I choose to be happy. Today I choose to live with love. And that's how I begin my day. So it is a choice. And when you say it out loud, it kind of reinforces. And so then you start finding and looking for that happiness, instead of focusing on whatever's wrong.
Yeah. What are some of the things maybe that you can share? Because I know we have several people that watch the show that do deal with different health issues. And I think me personally, and I know several other people, there's specific people I'm thinking of right now that started on their spiritual journey due to health issues and having like those breakthrough moments of like, enough is enough here. We've got to do something different. What kind of specific things have you done in moments of intense pain, or in your circumstances changing in a way that maybe you didn't expect, or something like that? What things have you done to sort of to be able to focus on the happy?
Well, okay. So in my absolute worst point in time, I was bedridden and could not move at all. Like, this was beyond the wheelchair thing. Like, I literally needed people to carry me places, not because I asked them to. It was because, my body was wound up. My nerves were wound up so tight that my joints and everything were hardening into place, like one place and stuff. So it was like there were days where all I could do was, open my eyes. That's kind of like where I was. And so when I was in that frame, the best thing that I could do was to try to create an environment around me that evoked happiness, or evoked pleasure, or just so certain things like lighting a scented candle, because that would get, because I could smell at that point, so my sense of smell wasn't out of whack. And so having a nice pleasant aroma around you can transport you, or listening to happy songs, listening to an uplifting podcast, anything really that will just that can uplift you in your environment. And that's pretty much how, because and I'm just going back to thinking to my real severe points. And my imagination was a beautiful thing that brought me elsewhere. So like, I could close my eyes and, envision a field of flowers that I was running through, or, so it really is, it's the power of your mind, the power of your heart, and, just being able to make use of the senses that you do have.
Yeah.
And
I love that as well, because I think we take for granted things like our imagination sometimes. And, we many of us, we grow up and we're like, that's child stuff. I don't have time for that. But it can really be of incredible value when you sometimes you need to be transported out of whatever you're experiencing, and just going to that place. I was sharing on Project Joy the other morning that, so one of the things that I really am challenged with is PTSD, medical PTSD. So I don't do appointments and stuff really well. I'm a different person then. And so my nurse is aware of that. And we were kind of going through some testing and stuff that was really challenging. And my doctor was in the room as well, but my APRN, she whispers to me, she's like, go to the beach. Just go to the beach, Jessica, like right now, just go. And so, like, first of all, my doctor's office is amazing in that way, because they know the challenge, but that's something like we can all do for ourselves. Just go to the beach, Amanda.
Absolutely. Go to the beach.
We can go there anytime we want.
Anytime. And it's, perfect weather and everything. No sharks. It's all good.
It's however you want the beach to be is how it can be, which is amazing.
Absolutely.
Love it. One of the other things I wanted to talk to you about is when we're talking about bringing more happiness into our businesses, because I think many people, maybe for us entrepreneurs, we feel more at ease to allow the happiness to take center stage. But some places, for example, my husband's in corporate, and like a lot of people in the corporate world, they're just like, maybe they're afraid that by being happy that they're coming across as soft or something. I don't know. Maybe they feel like it's going to affect their business. Like, what are some of the benefits you can think of? I mean, I feel like this is going to be kind of redundant here, but what are the benefits that you can think of for someone just letting the happiness take center stage in their work?
Well, I'm going to first say happier people are more productive. So I have no idea why on earth that isn't even considered a thing.
Yes.
I'm going to be honest with you, and this is one of the things that like shocked me. There's Facebook groups for different, all sorts of different things, right? Mm-hmm. Well, I was a part of this Facebook group that was all about marketing and business, trying to for businesses basically. Yeah. And they basically they pretty much after a while, they did not want me a part of their group because they felt that happiness was irrelevant to business. They flat out told me that.
What?
They said, "Look, we appreciate what you're all about and everything, but happiness really is irrelevant when it comes to business." And I just was like, "All right, bye." I was just like,
I am completely shocked that someone said that out loud.
Well, for one thing, because I knew a lot of people in the group, and a lot of people are life coaches. So, okay, most people, not many people, go to life coaches because they want to be more happy some way in their life. Some happiness is a big part of a life coach's business, right? Right. I don't know, but it just. It was very interesting to me when they flat out said it's irrelevant. I just kind of went, all right then.
I don't even know if we can continue the show at this point, because I am down a rabbit hole in my head, right? I am completely done. That must have just like set you back for a minute. Like, did you have, I would have just had to spend 3 days asking if this is real life.
I'm like,
but unfortunately, I feel like it's true to an extent that that's what a lot of people in business think, that maybe I don't know. To me, it's all about whether or not we're happy. We get one life that we're like consciously aware, whatever your beliefs are. Okay, we're gonna go with one life that you're consciously aware of at any given time. That's what we're going with today. Okay, so whatever your belief is, so it's just, this is it. So why would you not want happiness to be a part of that?
I mean, it may not be the focal point of business or your business, but I mean, I'm sorry. It seems like everybody wants, everybody wants to be productive. Everybody wants more,
Right.
I don't know. But so that kind of threw me. And so I was like, all right then. But so I would say though, to infuse more happiness into business, especially if you're, whether you are a solopreneur, can't pronounce that word.
No one can.
Yeah, or you have a team. I would say to appreciate and to celebrate. I think those are critical when you have a business, or even, not even when you have a business, but are a part of business, because that appreciation goes a long way. And if whether you have a team, or you should appreciate yourself and you should appreciate your team, because that's what keeps the ball rolling, and that's what keeps everybody together, is that appreciation. And then oh my goodness, celebrating. That's so important, I think, to a business, because you have milestones that you reach.
Right.
I mean, what you just had a birthday for the Breakthrough Show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so celebrating that's amazing, and celebrating everybody that's been a part of the show is just beautiful, because it's a bonding thing, first of all, and just when you celebrate, your mood uplifts, and again, all that ties into productivity.
Right. That's it. That's exactly it. It's funny because there's a couple things here. One, I can totally tell the difference. The appreciation and celebration, I think, it's so key to what you're talking about, because I can see the difference in my husband when he is celebrated at work and he's appreciated for the work that he does. His mood going into work the next day is completely different than if he didn't feel that the day before. Do you think that there's value? I want to pause there for a moment. Do you think that there's value in learning how to celebrate and appreciate yourself as well? Because obviously we're not always guaranteed that from other people, right?
Oh God, absolutely. And one of the key things that I like to say, in my group and just in general, is a happier me makes a happier we. I love, because if the more that you celebrate yourself, the more that happiness, that inward, you perpetuate that inward happiness. And so that then just spews forth, and then the people around you feel it. And so I think it's critical to celebrate yourself, to appreciate yourself, because if nobody else is going to do it for you 24/7, I mean,
right.
So other than you, I mean, you are your best friend forever and ever and ever. So you might as well treat yourself like it,
That's it. I love that so much. I think it's what you're sharing is so important. And there are things that, like, they're basic concepts here that I feel like we should know. But, and I feel like when I asked you in the beginning, were you like born this way, like just super happy all the time, or did you have to learn to be that? I think how you shared of, being born this way, but then somewhere along the way, something happens. And then we have to try to come back to it. I think that's the case for everybody. I really do. I don't know anybody who hasn't gone through something and had to like find their way back. But if it's there the whole time, if it's there from the time we're out of the womb, that we should all take the opportunity to go back to that, because that's ours.
Yes, absolutely. And I guess the thing is, I I'm not going to say, I guess I might retract losing it, because it's never been lost. It's always been, and it all, it's more just forgetting. We'll put it that way. I think when when you experience rough times, you just kind of forget happiness, and then layers of other things build up, and so rediscovering it is what's important. So, like you said, coming back to it, rediscovering it.
Right. I want to ask you, maybe this will be another controversial question. We're going to find out. But as I have, I made the commitment at the end of 2019. That was when my big health thing came about. And I was like, I'm literally doing nothing from here on out unless it's joyful. Period. End of story. I'm not doing it. And so that means that I put my kids on dishes a lot. That's what I just not doing it with joyful. But anyway, and I think as I've learned the importance of making that choice for myself, I can understand when other people are struggling to tap into that happiness, to that joy that we know is there. They just forgotten it, right? Do you ever find yourself getting frustrated at all when people that you're close to in your life outright choose to just not see the happy at all? Like, we're not doing this. I'm just going to be angry, Amanda.
Oh, it's kind of funny, because there are people in mind that
that I have some too.
But no, it doesn't frustrate me, because I mean, that's on you, baby. That's how I look at it. It's your path. I mean, because and if I realize that that's your choice and that's where you're headed, then then there's no reason for me to even I mean, I don't try to sway anybody anyway. We'll put it that way.
Yeah.
But because I'm all about, you do you and I'll do me. And that's pretty much where I go. So
yeah, no, I agree with that 100%. I think there's still that very, I don't know, that part of me that I still feel a little bit sad. I'm like, I just have that moment of like, I want you to want to be happy. Like, that would be amazing. And then, so I spend like a minute on that, and then I go, okay, it's your journey. It is what it is. But I do have that moment of sadness where I'm like, I wish you could be happy. Okay, moving on.
Yeah, it's a sadness. It's not frustration.
Yeah.
But it is a sadness, because I'm like, there's so much out there. But I also remember when I was there, and there was there was nothing happening, and nothing is ever going to change unless you want it yourself. And
yes. Well, and I think when I'm feeling the sadness for them, I'm also feeling the sadness for me at that time when I couldn't feel it or see it too, right?
And that's a good point. That's probably the case. I'm gonna go with that too, because that's
Yeah, because I mean, we have those things that tie us together. Like, when I see somebody else going through something, I feel that too, of when I went through something too, and it was really hard. And I also, sometimes we just know that that's not necessarily someone's journey, that maybe they're not going to get to where they come back to that space of happiness for them. But you do have so much influence, and the proof of that is in the shiny shirt. Because I was like, you wore the shiny shirt, and I'm like, I need a shiny shirt now. And I think that speaks to the importance of this choice that you've made, Amanda, to be happy and to come up in the glitter shirt with the smiley faces behind you, regardless of what anybody else thinks. And that's going to be infectious in a good way.
Hey, that's ooh, happiness is the best infection. That's how I look at it. It really is, and I want to, I want to be contagious that way.
Yes.
And the sparkle is also the sparkly shirt is a it's kind of it's like a little reminder to myself too that my inner sparkle is always there, and I'm choosing today to wear it on the outside, but
Yeah.
it's always there inside, you know.
Love it. I love it. Well, this is what we want you to do. We're going to take one more quick break. One of the things that we love about the show is how synchronistic everything is. And we're going to listen to the For Love poem, which we know that love makes us happy and joyful and all of those things. So we're going to listen to the For Love poem. While we're on break, click the link that I put in the comments for you guys and go join Amanda's group, Project S.H.A.P.E, Spreading Happiness Across Planet Earth. We're going to talk about that group and all the things that Amanda's working on when we come right back from the poem. So don't go anywhere.
I shall stand for love, even with a broken soul, even with a heavy heart. I shall stand for love, for the world is wounded, not just my little piece of land, where I am mostly safe, where I am mostly well, but our world, everywhere, every day. I shall stand for love, because we need more light, not more death, not more power, not more bombs. I shall stand for love, so that our children are safe, so that our friends are sheltered, so that our borders are open. I shall stand for love, even with a broken soul, even with a heavy heart.
Welcome back to the Breakthrough Show. Thank you all for standing for love with us today. We appreciate you. I am so happy that you've been able to come and join us on the show today. And I want you to tell everybody about your Facebook group, Project S.H.A.P.E, that I put the link in the comments for everybody.
Before I do that, I want to just first say that poem, oh my God, that poem is so beautiful. I was just
It's a moment.
it really is. So I just want to thank you for that, because that has made my day. Thank you so much.
Oh, of course. I love it. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. And Dorothy would be so glad as well. And she would totally approve of our conversation today, because she was all about spreading the love, the joy, the happiness, all of that. And so I love that resonated for you. Let's hear about your group.
Alrighty. So we are actually going to be 3 years old in August 4th. So that's super exciting. And we're at 924 people as of right this moment. And we encapsulate 57 different countries. And I think that is just beautiful. And basically the Facebook group is a space. It's come as you are. So it's not like, oh, you have to be happy. It's, it's an open invitation for everyone. And, it's, how they have those little jars or little bowls that are like, give a penny, take a penny kind of thing at cashiers and stuff.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I like to view Project S.H.A.P.E. If you're feeling it and you want to give some love today, come up and post, share your happy moment, share, your vacation, share a silly cat video, share anything that brings you joy. And I typically will post on a daily basis. But I think the idea of it is to just harness the power of happiness from everyone's perspective, no matter what it is. And so it's people post, it's to empower, to inspire, that kind of thing. And what I love is when people are not having a good day, the support that our group will bring, because people say, I really needed to see that. Thank you. Or, and I personally have made so many amazing friends and family from the group. So that right there just personally makes me happy. But
Yeah.
I love being a positive force on Facebook, because a lot of the times there are so many people complain about it being such a negative space. And
Yeah.
so I enjoy being a positive, uplifting space.
Yeah, I love that. And I appreciate your efforts in that, because I know so many, I mean, even I will have days where I'm scrolling and I'm like, what in the world is all of this? But I try to keep to my places that I know are amazing. So Project Shape and coming in the Breakthrough Show Network community, like I know what I'm going to get there. And so I always tell people now, I don't know where you're hanging out, but you could come over here if you wanted to do that. I love it. I love it. What else are you working on, Amanda, for the near future? I know you have some fun things going on.
Yeah, I have a happy podcast in the works. I'm sorting some things out and working some things out, but it's going to be called Happy Chats with Amanda. And again, what I'm looking at doing there is to explore the concept of happiness from a global perspective, and have different people from all over the world, and just anybody and everybody to share what their visions of happiness is, and how they can bring tips and tricks that they suggest to bring happiness into the world, just to again, I like to spread happiness in all the different ways I can. So the Facebook group that is virtually an amazing way, and so I think the podcast would be great as far as going across the airwaves.
Yeah.
I love writing, and I have contributed to 3 multi-author books, and all of those chapters surround happiness. I call them the happiness. Yeah, I know. And so, I also have a happy newsletter, and so writing is a key part to also the way I like to spread happiness. And so, yeah, I just try all the different ways that I can, throughout my day, whoever I meet, all the encounters that I make, just to have them try and be as joyful and meaningful as possible.
Yeah. That's amazing. That's amazing. And I think, again, I go back to what I said before, that I think that even if you did none of those things, if you didn't have a group, if you weren't working on the podcast, if you weren't writing about the happiness, that you simply being who you are is such a huge, it's a testament to who you are as a person, but it's also that it's that infection we all want. It's that thing that I think you're just doing it and being who you are. And I appreciate all of the light that you're bringing into the world, Amanda. Thank you for the work you're doing.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. I'm so glad that you've been able to join us today. I put all of Amanda's links down in the show notes for you guys. You can check that out on YouTube or on Facebook. They're in the description of the video. We also have the link in the comments to join Project Shape. I know Brittany's already in. She was like, I love this. I'm there. She went and joined on the break because she listened during the break, you guys. So she went and did that. So make sure you guys do that. I want to thank you, all of you, for being here today. What an incredible conversation we've had today with Amanda. Her journey and dedication to spreading happiness are truly inspiring. Amanda, your message reminds us all of the power of positivity and how finding joy, even in difficult times, can transform not only our lives, but the lives of those around us. Thank you so much, Amanda, for being here today and sharing your wisdom and, of course, happiness with us. I appreciate you so much. And to all of our viewers, make sure you join us for the next episode. We'll be talking with Devon Taylor about his personal journey and the breakthroughs he's experienced when he unexpectedly became a parent. So it's going to be an insightful and heartwarming discussion you don't want to miss at all. I'm your host, Jessica Dugas. Amanda, thank you again for being here today. I appreciate you. And I want to remind you guys to make joy a priority in your life, happiness a priority in your life, and make every day a great day for a breakthrough. We'll see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.